You are listening to the Sunday Edition podcast. I'm Michael Enright. So, a priest, a minister, and a rabbi walk into a curling rink. Well, I promise you this is no corny joke, because every Monday morning at a rink in Ajax, Ontario, about 30 clerics don their boots, pick up their brooms, sweep away their earthly cares, if not their sins, and knock a few rocks together with their eyes on glory, not the Olympic kind. Maureen Brosnan headed out to the ice. Here's her story on this rock.
On 3, it's Torrance versus Simpson. Clive and I are on a race to last place. And on 4, it's Her versus White.
Good curling, everybody.
He's got a pretty good weight. Juan Her, minister at Ebenezer United Church, and I've been there since 2003, and that's when I also started curling.
Wow.
Curling angels are watching over her today. It suits my character. I enjoy shooting sports. I did Japanese archery for 3 years in Japan, and I found that to be an incredibly spiritual experience. So I bring that to the game of curling, and it helps me to become the curler that I am. And I find it very relaxing, and I find it very spiritual, being able to throw rocks.
So you save direct prayers for more important interventions, I take it?
For other people who are in hospitals and world peace, for things like that, not for curling game. I don't think God cares who wins or who loses.
Don't throw anything through the house. Keep all the rocks in play, and as much as possible, keep it ahead of the tee line. At least that's what Juan told me to say. My name is Father Mark Robson. I'm the pastor at St. Boniface Parish. I've been a part of the Interfaith Curling Club for a couple of years now, and I play second on Juan Her's team. Now, I was looking for something to do, something that would combine both friendship and faith, and I had heard about this curling on Monday mornings. I'd never curled before. I thought, okay, well, let me try it. And then after the first couple of weeks, I was hooked. Always, always, please God, don't let me fall.
Well, I can tell you the first few weeks you fall on your bum a few times, and people are very patient, and people will give you some tips and things like that. And you also, it takes a long time to throw well. I'm Corey Weiss. I'm the rabbi at Temple Hartzion in Thornhill. I've been curling about 8 or 9 years, I think. Yeah, Michael Dolgan got me in.
I'm Michael Dolgan. I'm rabbi at Temple Sinai. There are quite a few biblical references that in clergy curling. And when the Frozen Chosen decided that the Jewish clergy curling team, we're the only one in the world as far as we know, decided we were going to have a jacket, we needed some kind of biblical saying. It was appropriate, and the team decided to use the words from Psalms, "Blessed is my rock," which is on our jacket in Hebrew as well, although I admit I'm still upset that I was voted down, because in the book of Isaiah calls out, "I will sweep you away with my broom of destruction." And that was the quotation I was hoping we would use. But while it was biblically valid, it really, as you can hear, isn't in the spirit of clergy curling.
Enough weight to get the rock all the way to the golf course. I used to yell, all the way, sweep hard, all the way. And another member of my team says, each time you say that, the hymn, "All the Way My Savior Leads Me," plays in my mind.
I'm Barbara White. I'm a retired United Church minister. I'm resurrected president. That's also a biblical term.
That position's not open to the Jewish clergy.
I was the only Roman Catholic for years and years, but all the different denominations of Protestants welcomed me so much. And then more recently we welcomed the Jews, and we have some Catholic priests with us now, so it's truly ecumenical. My name is Bert Folio. I'm a Jesuit priest, and presently I'm in Pickering, not too far from the curling club.
People have good humor about it. What you see on television and what you see in the Olympics, especially around sweeping, has nothing to do with what we do. One of our skips, Bill Baxter, one time had a team where people were decent curlers but not such good sweepers. And someone threw a shot and he was a little frustrated that day, and instead of yelling hurry hard or some such thing, he started yelling dust, dust, because it was his feeling that it's pretty much what was going on the ice.
Shouldn't have swept that, Ross, sorry. Monday is not usually Rabbi's day off, but in my synagogue they know that from October through March, Monday morning is sacred. For me, it is sacred time for me, and so that's how that happens. But I will say that of all the clubs that have a Bonspiel, of clergy clubs in Ontario, this is the only one that does not have theirs on Friday, so that we can all be sure to participate.
Okay, this is our end.
I used to tell a little white lie when I was a pastor in parishes that it really wasn't a good idea to try and have a funeral on Monday mornings, because Monday mornings the gravediggers had to work, so that we could always have a funeral even as early as 1 o'clock, 1:30 or 2 Monday afternoons, but give the gravediggers a time to dig the grave. Nobody, I think, either they didn't find that out. Of course, the real reason was I was curling.
I think as far as the spiritual dimension, just being together and playing a game together is a great experience. We know that in the history of Jewish-Christian relationships, it hasn't always been good, and so I think this has been a very positive experience. It's had its wrinkles, but it's basically been a very positive experience.
Also, when there have been challenging times, interfaith issues in the city, the fact that we already have relationships has enabled us not only to maintain the strength of the group, but I think also to do some good. Barb and I have a very clear example, because in the last number of years, around issues having to do with how to relate to Israel and the Palestinian people, etc., there have been real tensions between the Jewish community in Toronto and the United Church community. And Barb and I, very closely in contact to help each other and each other's communities understand how the other might think. But right after some of the statements and events that were most challenging took place, Barb invited me and I came and spoke at her church. I remember a number of the members of that church were really grateful to have the opportunity. And in the community at that time, there were no such conversations taking place, because most of the relationships were professional relationships, whereas ours is both professional and personal.
Okay, Ross, let's go. Here we go. Turn it around.
I love to go to breakfast when I can with the rabbis, because they bring a whole different perspective to things, and they have their turkey bacon and I have my sausages, and we just enjoy sharing our vision.
There's a whole. Last year, the Frozen Chosen was short member, so Michael asked me to play on his team, and we won the championship. And that was the greatest joy in my curling career.
So did they make you an honorary rabbi, or?
Almost, yes.
Honorarily frozen.
Is there an attempt to reach out beyond to bring Muslim curlers in here at all?
We certainly have, and will continue to reach out to people. And hopefully in the next number of years, it'll be an even broader group than it's been in the past.
To get 1 or 2 Muslim people in, I think it'll be with the Jewish community that we started off with just a few, and now there are a few more. So it's just to get that ice broken, but I'm sure it's going to happen.
It's been a great way for people to connect. I mean, only good comes out of clergy curling.
On This Rock was produced by Maureen Brosnan. Now, we thought you'd like to know that several members of the Toronto League are prepping for the annual Friars Briar early next month. It brings curling clergy from across the country to a week-long event held in conjunction with the Men's National Curling Championship. And this year, friends, it's being held in Regina. You have been listening to the Sunday Edition podcast. It's available every Sunday, and you can download it at cbc.ca/podcasting. We're on the radio every Sunday on CBC Radio 1. I'm Michael Enright. Thanks for listening.